to the action of last night, because this game was so much fun. Between the Falcons and Commanders, Jayden Daniels and Michael Penix Jr. facing off. We're going to start at the top of the fourth. Commanders are down 3. Chris Rodriguez Jr. takes it in for the 2-yard touchdown. Commanders take the lead 21-7. All right, now Washington's up by 7. Under 3 minutes to play. What would Michael Penix Jr. have in store? He finds Drake London for 31 yards on 4th and 11. Falcons again at the Commanders' 19. So Atlanta now at the 5-yard line. And here, Bijan Robinson trying to make something happen, but the ball is snapped high. He's able to recover it. Falcons now at the Washington 26. So 4th and goal to go. Dan, what did you see here with Penix to Kyle Pitts?
Just a great timing throw down the middle of the field. I love that Pitts uses his big body, and then Atlanta with a great game-tying drive. Right when he wraps behind that second-level defender, the ball's thrown perfectly.
The game tied at 24, 7 seconds left. Falcons with the ball. Penix passing to Darnell Mooney, but it falls incomplete, and defensive pass interference is called on the Commanders. So Atlanta looking to win the game here. Riley Patterson misses the 56-yard field goal, just a bit short. So that means we are headed to overtime. The Commanders won the toss. Under 8 minutes to play. Jayden Daniels just putting on a show, scrambling for 16 yards, picking up 3rd and 2. My goodness, Commanders near the goal line. And could they get it done right here? Well, you'll find out a lot more about this particular play in a moment. But Daniels finding Zach Ertz for the 2-yard touchdown. Commanders win 30-24. And breaking down the late game heroics in Washington, let's start there. Jayden Daniels has 3 go-ahead pass touchdowns in the final minute of a game this season. More than any other quarterback. You guys, he's just clutch. Washington tied a franchise record with 4 fourth-quarter comebacks this season. Dan, let's go back to that game-winning touchdown to Zach Ertz. What did you see on that play?
It's fitting that they designed the play for Zach Ertz. It reminds me of the one that he caught game winner years ago for the Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. You're just trying to create leverage versus man. You motion down. That shallow is going to take his defender, also pin the linebacker. Corner takes the safety. Ertz has to sell. He's going to the flat and then break across. Jayden, hold that linebacker. See how the defender gets left outside of Zach Ertz. The space right in the middle of that end zone is created. Ball comes out on time, right on Zach Ertz's face, and it's a touchdown. Terry McLaurin's great, but when they needed it, Zach Ertz was that guy down there. It's a route that he has absolutely perfected in his career, and Jayden Daniels in that offense operated it perfectly.
Yeah, I love that. The maturation of Jayden Daniels, not only this season, but throughout this game. There were a couple looks, simulated pressures that Atlanta was able to get Jayden Daniels a couple times. Obviously, here's the one that's the interception. He doesn't see the linebacker drop out backside and throws the interception right here. You come back later. You run the same similar simulated pressure, and then you get in on him, and you get him on the ground. And the next one, he finally figures it out. This is overtime, where they try to run the same look, and he picks up a critical first down in order to continue that drive. But I think a lot of times we look at these rookie quarterbacks and we think they just playing out of their mind, they playing off field. I think Jayden has become one of those young guys that's gathering information. Give Cliff Kingsbury a lot of credit as well. Gathering information throughout the duration of the game and then making people pay for giving them the same kind of looks.
Yeah, I love that you pointed out those simulated pressures. I thought Atlanta and Jimmy Lake, their defensive coordinator, actually did a really good job and have improved that pass rush a great deal. But Marcus, what you saw in the second half, not just the adjustment you saw on that later throw, the awareness, but really just Daniels leaning on his legs. And this was a really special performance by him on the ground. Yes, you can say, oh, wow, the most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single game. But to me, what's more meaningful than that stat is the fact that he carried the football 16 times and had a success rate of over 80%. What that means is each of those runs was both efficient and productive. He was just compiling 6, 7, 8 yards at a time. His ability to do so really is how he can put the team on his back even when their passing game struggles. And you just can't, I think, overstate what he did with his legs in this game, even if you worry a little bit about them leaning too much on that moving forward.
You know, if C.J. Stroud put rookie year success out of this world, then Jayden Daniels has changed it to an entirely different universe. He's taken what C.J. Stroud did last year and only stepped it up. This also reminds me of the way Lamar Jackson played last year in his MVP season. You look at the way that Jayden has performed in the clutch moments, in the biggest games. And I'm going to say this, and I know it's hyperbole, and he hasn't reached this stage yet, but when I saw the coin toss and I saw that the Washington Commanders would have the football, I said they've already called game. And I said that because of Jayden Daniels. And now here's what scares me. When you look at this team moving forward into the playoffs, you know that Jayden Daniels has to play at this level in order for them to win. And I feel like that's why it's going to be difficult. Any defense stepping into an arena or a stadium will have number 5 high on their priority list. And if he doesn't play well, if they can hold him, maybe a la the Philadelphia Eagles on Thursday night, the Baltimore Ravens when he went there, or you can even look at the Dallas Cowboys for most of that game, this team will struggle. But what Jayden Daniels has become and what he has done is historic and monumental. The one thing we won't be saying next offseason is let's see who the next Jayden Daniels is, because there will not be one.
Oh, wow. That's well said. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for Dan. Do we have time?
Go ahead.
He always
Too
got
late
a
now.
day question.
Dio, so obviously we had the conversation about Cliff Kingsbury and his adjustments late in season when he was in Arizona. We would see this offense kind of tail off. Does this have more to do with the ability of the quarterback, or does it have more to do with his evaluation of himself getting better? Because in that second half, he make a concerted effort, to Mina's point, to put the ball in Jayden's hands with his legs. Have you seen a progression from Cliff Kingsbury while being in Washington?
Oh, there's definitely a pass game progression. That was kind of like the big thing that would always hold these offenses back, Marcus, as they fell off in Arizona, was they didn't really have great NFL pass concepts. They definitely have those more in Washington. But make no mistake about it, this kid's special.
Sam Darnold and the Vikings, they're hosting the Packers. We're going to pick it up in the second quarter. The Vikings trail by 3, 2nd and 8 on the Packers 29. And Darnold drops back, connecting there with Jalen Naylor, a 31-yard touchdown. The Vikings take a 7-3 lead. And early third quarter, Vikings up by 10. 1st and 10 in Packers territory. Darnold, play action, finding Jordan Addison for an 18-yard touchdown. Dan, it's just so impressive.
Yeah, you're trying to get the defense to sink in, and then Addison whirlybirds. I love this play, the screen down in the red zone. Him versus the backer. Bradbury gets out there in space. Akers makes a nice move, and Minnesota takes a 17-point lead.
Yeah, they started to create some distance there. Early fourth, it's still 27-10. 1st and 10 for the Packers on their own 45. And Jordan Love trying to make something happen, dropping back, connects with Tucker Kraft for 35 yards. That game, they're attempting the comeback here. Later in the drive, the Packers got it 2nd and goal. Emmanuel Wilson takes the handoff. He scores. So they would go for 2 afterwards. They get it. The Packers now down 27-18. About 3 minutes delayed remaining. Packers getting another chance. And Love stepping up to Dontavian Wicks just short of the end zone. Now a couple plays later, Love a dart to Malik Heath, so not going away. They're now down just by 2 points. Ensuing drive for the Vikings, 3rd and 2 about midfield, 1:49 remaining. Darnold play action, rolls out of the pocket, finding Cam Akers. He makes the grab for 1st down. The Vikings win 27-25. They hold on, and my goodness, what a performance by Sam Darnold. He got the reception in the locker room after that he so wholeheartedly deserves. Look at how much this team loves their quarterback, celebrating him, his journey through his time in the NFL, and now to a moment that he definitely doesn't take for granted. It's been so much fun watching all of this as we saw the game, and look at Kevin O'Connell even watching it all happen too. Just pretty special. Sam Darnold, by the way, was pressured on only 25% of his dropbacks Sunday, the 2nd lowest rate he's faced this season. A recipe for disaster for Green Bay, as Darnold threw for nearly 350 yards and 3 touchdowns when he wasn't pressured. His 1 interception was under pressure. Mina, what stood out from Darnold and that Vikings offense yesterday for you?
Ooh. First of all, I love that video. The shot of Kevin O'Connell at the end, that got me. Just the pride in his face. A couple things stood out. One, the ability of this Vikings.
You was going to cry?
A little bit.
All of us were,
all these years Dan and I have been defending Sam, so it's emotional for us. The ability of the Vikings offense to attack you where you're weak, because obviously they have an extremely talented group of pass catchers, a brilliant play caller in Kevin O'Connell. And where the Packers were weak, very obviously in this one, was the middle of the field. It's been an issue for this defense, honestly, it feels like for quite some time. But going into this game, you don't have Quay Walker, you don't have Evan Williams. They just went after that part of the field with digs, posts. I believe Sam was 13 for 15 for 207 yards on in-breaking routes. So that ability to, game plan specifically for this defense was very signature in this one. And then the other thing, I thought this was the best performance from this Vikings offensive line that I've seen all year long. Now, some of that has to do with the Packers pass rush, which I think has some issues. But I also think this offensive line, as you saw with those stats, really provided some clean pockets for Sam. And when he has a clean pocket, it's just good luck.
Well, I think we need to start calling NFL Live the race to your production meeting, because I sent Chanel over 4 plays that were all in breakers.
Gotta be early.
So I could do a tape for the show. But Mina was quicker than I am. I want to point to the last drive for Sam Darnold. And, oh, look, now they're bringing up the tape. Don't bring up the tape now. That's not what it says on the thing. But here it is. We see Xavier McKinney, and we watch Naylor run up the middle of the field. We're going to get it again with T.J. Hockenson working inside this cover 2. Easy throw, pitch and catch for Sam Darnold. This is the play I love. Here you're going to see we're going to break up the field. They're going to draw everyone inside and watch the in-breaker come from the other side of the field, because Justin Jefferson is drawing so much attention. And here, another play right now, we're going to get a control route. You see right here, you bring the underneath coverage up. Justin Jefferson on the dig right behind it. I thought that Sam Darnold did an excellent job working inside the numbers. And then you go to the last drive, and KOC puts the football in his hands. The first play of the drive, you get a ball out to the fullback. Then there's a boot on 2nd and 11 to Justin Jefferson, which finishes off with a pass to Cam Akers. And you can see Matt LaFleur on the sideline just befuddled, trying to understand how his defense gave up those plays. But Kevin O'Connell just knew just who to put the ball in whose hands, and it was Sam Darnold.
I don't think there's a coach giving his quarterback information and answers more than Kevin O'Connell's giving to Sam Darnold. I mean, in many ways, this game came down to 3rd downs. And the stuff that Kevin O'Connell did to gather information for Sam, guys, 4-by-1 formation. Jefferson goes in motion. Then here comes another motion with Addison. What they're trying to do is get the rotation. Safety, you go back to the middle field, drop down, and then create the space. 1, pin that inside backer. 2, Addison fakes to go out. And then there's that little void. That's a 3rd down conversion that leads to a touchdown. Same formation, 4-by-1 on 3rd down. Here comes Justin Jefferson. No one on the defense goes with them. What does Sam Darnold think? Hey, guys, that means pressure. So now he's changing the play and also the protection. There goes Addison again. This is 3rd down. This time, they're going to use Jefferson to pin that low defender, Addison to lift those high defenders, and then Naylor sitting right in the middle where that safety McKinney was thinking the deep crosser. RC, this is that same one. Look, empty formation. Sam Darnold changing the play because the corner matched it, knowing it's a zone defense, not a man defense. Here comes the secondary motion. They're lifting that middle of the field coverage, but it's about the protection because they knew it was a zone blitz, and there's that vacancy in the middle of the field. All 3 of those are on 3rd downs. All 3 of them used motion once, motion twice. Sam Darnold changed the play at the line of scrimmage with a check or an alert. All 3 of them led to touchdown drives.
Well, I'm going to the offensive line because Mina stepped on my in the trenches territory. That's what they ever did to it. Listen, I was super impressed. I was super impressed. Yeah, exactly. I was super impressed with the protection, and not so much as how much time they gave Sam Darnold, but the communication on some of these twists and some of these stunts that the Green Bay Packers were running up front. I thought that was the critical point of it. And then Sam Darnold's pocket movement creating more opportunities for those guys. If you watch the center to guard play in this game, you'll see a high level of communication